It's a big weekend in the town of Ferdinand, in case you haven't heard. They're celebrating their 175th anniversary of townhood, I guess you would call it, and Chris James has joined us to talk about that.
Thank you, Bradford. The official term is turquoise quicentennial, but that's too much of a tongue twister for some to say, so we go with 175th anniversary, and that seems to appeal to most people that way. So.
Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit.
Had our unofficial kickoff ceremony yesterday at the Forest Park High School auditorium. We've crowned our royalty for this year. We have our Little Miss and Mr. That's Bailey Anderson, the Little Miss. Logan Fisher is our Little Mister. And then last evening we crowned our Queen for the 175th, and that is Kayla Huffman. So they'll be very busy this week attending various events, handing out trophies and just in their finery with the sashes and everything, looking pretty for all the gathered that come into town this week. But that was sort of the unofficial kickoff. And then Thursday afternoon, 5 o'clock at 18th Street Park out in the ball field is when we'll have our opening ceremonies, and that's at 5 p.m., as close to 5 as we can get away with. Town Board President Ken Seacard will welcome the folks in. Lieutenant Governor Sue Ellspermann will have a few comments, she being a Ferdinand native as well. That's a nice tie-in there. Then we're going to have sort of a nostalgia period in the opening ceremonies, as we're going to recognize all of the past administrators from superintendent level to principals, from the grade schools, the high schools, pre and post incorporation of the Southeast system. We also will have all of the band directors from Forest Park High School in attendance as well. They will be recognized. The band will be playing the national anthem and I believe another song, as all band members from Forest Park, current members, past, whether past as last year or 20 years ago, they're welcome to come and participate as well. I think they've got some photo opportunities set up at a part of the field after the opening ceremonies have wrapped up. We also will have the previous queens. We're very fortunate in Ferdinand. This is our 175th. We still have living our queen from our centennial of 1940, Marcella Sally Hakey. From 1965, Jeannie Scherzer, and then from our 25 year ago, the 150th celebration, Debbie Winkler. We're very fortunate to have all three of those ladies, and they'll be in attendance Thursday night at the opening ceremony, and they'll be taking part in various activities as well over the weekend. They'll all be in their own special vehicle during the parade on Sunday of next week as well. So a nice kickoff on Thursday. We've got the lip sync contest, Fashions of Old. That'll take place up at the community center, more for the comfort of the ladies in their olden style finery, because it's going to be a warm day. Keep them in the air conditioning. That way they're not too overcome with the heat traveling from one spot to another for the ceremony. So that's what Thursday looks like. And then Boogie Tunes will be playing music throughout the afternoon and evening for us out on the main stage right up until I think 11 o'clock Thursday night.
So definitely a family affair with all the recognitions and everything else.
We try to make this as family-friendly of an event as possible. There are a lot of kids' games organized by Jenny John and her group. We also have Big Bounce coming in, the inflatables. They'll have a variety of items, bounce houses and things of that nature, but they also have some games and some face painting that they'll be doing in their area of the parking lot. And then out in the ball field, we've got on Friday night a couple of local bands that'll be performing basically from 8 o'clock, or actually about 7 o'clock on till we shut things down that evening. Saturday night, actually before Saturday, Friday, we have our, weather permitting, balloon launch. We've got 10 balloons set up. The launch site is where the Folk Fest stage would be, so folks have an idea of where in the park that will be. If it's not raining or too windy, and the wind is as big a factor as the rain is with the balloons, that'll take place at the park on the 20th Street side Friday evening. Hopefully the weather will behave itself and we can have a very nice spectacle for folks to come out, have some great food and watch the balloons launch. On Saturday, the Pinewood Box Derby goes on in the afternoon. We've got the volleyball, the 3-on-3 basketball tourney, wiffle ball, horseshoes, all of the standard Heimat Fest activities, just kind of blown up a little bit bigger this year for the 175. And then the music will kick in Saturday evening. East Hills will hit the stage at 6 p.m. They're kind of the opening act. And then we got a triple header. You got the Georgia Satellites at 7. Approximately 8:30 is Pure Prairie League. At 10 p.m., we've got a fireworks extravaganza sponsored solely by Best Home Furnishings. And then about 10:20 or so, once the fireworks wrap up, the Love and Spoonful, the headliner act, will hit the main stage. When they are done, then we'll have the big announcement of our raffle prize drawings, and the raffle tickets are still available for the grand raffle and for the quilt raffle. They'll be selling tickets throughout the course of the week for that. And then we culminate everything Sunday at 2 o'clock with the parade through town. Entries are still being accepted, and you literally, if you have an entry or a float or you just want to be in the parade, you can sign up even up into Sunday morning. You have to have your entry in line by 12:30 p.m. The launch site is the Master Brand Cabinets plant on West 3rd Street. As long as you're in line by 12:30, you're good to go. If you have walkers or float riders, they need to be there by 1:30. The timing of that, because it's going to be such a big parade and the way the route goes through town, we don't want to have folks have to double back. It's going to be prejudged. So the judges will be going out, checking all the floats ahead of time, making their selections for the various awards, and then the parade can go through. They come up West 3rd to 162, follow the highway to West 16th Street, and then take a left, and then they'll veer back into the backside of the Best Home Furnishings property, and then they can disperse back to wherever home base may be for the float or the ride. So lots of stuff going on. I've just hit sort of the tip of the iceberg, if you will, but a lot of great things. Come to Ferdinand. We've got a huge food tent set up down the left field line. We'll be serving 2 meats on Thursday, and then 4 meats, fried and barbecue chicken, pork chops and ribs Friday and Saturday. Serving starts at 5 p.m. and will run through the evening. And then also on Saturday at the Community Center, we did this last year, we're doing it again this year, from 4 till 7. There will also be an inside meal at the Community Center, and that'll be a entirely separate entree. So there's no worrying about, well, do I want the fried chicken from the food tent or the fried chicken from the Community Center? Completely separate food options. So there's even more variety for folks to choose. And then some of the other individual food stands for your burgers and walking tacos, ice cream sandwiches made by the sisters, drinks and more. So, I mean, there's food galore and all kinds of activities for young and old alike coming up.
So obviously, as we wrap up tonight, you're expecting a big crowd locally, but what about from other areas? We're
anticipating, based on the marketing output that we have done, getting the word out through internet, the various media releases, we're expecting several thousand people to come into town over the weekend. A lot of it, Thursday is really geared to be more Ferdinand-based because of the schools and the band recognition. But as we get into Friday night, start to expand that to more regional. And then Saturday night, obviously, with the Georgia Satellites, Pure Prairie League, and Love and Spoonful, those bands bring in their fan base from all over. And so we're expecting a very big crowd on Saturday night. Best advice for the music, whether it's Friday or Saturday, come early, kind of stake your claim to a chunk of the ball field with your blanket and your chairs and whatnot. There'll be some bleachering set up as well, but get there early, mark your space, and then just have a great day, a great weekend in Ferdinand with our celebration.
Sounds like a big event, so thank you very much, Chris.
175 years in the making, Bradford.
And 175 later on, too.
I won't be here for that one.
Yeah, no, none of us will be. None of us will be. That's been this week's Monday Conversation. We'll be back with weather after this.